energy to be as loud as the disrespect was. That's all I need. It was a bad shot, but he was out of rhythm as well.
Don't try to take over. That was a bad shot.
He was out of rhythm though.
Kendall.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
We are back, man.
Y'all know the vibes. It's your boy Kendall. I'm here with my man Khalil, and this is another episode of the Wild Card. Man, we got a lot to get into. Just had that homecoming game versus Jackson State. Man, made some headlines. Made a lot of headlines. Not exactly for the reasons that we expected, but made some headlines nonetheless. So, I do kind of want to wait a little bit so other people can come in here, but
for sure.
Yeah, hey, man, it was a lot.
Let's keep it a buck, though, bro. At least we didn't get, the outcome everybody else thought.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not gonna lie.
As far as you thought, and then I kind of thought in the very, very back of my head
that bad mistake by 30 was not. It wasn't. You wasn't feeling it.
You see my shirt. You see my shirt, man. You see my shirt.
Nah, you gotta show the people, bro. You gotta show the people when they come in.
No, I'm saving for the classic. Because I was talking about the classic. People got it confused. I was thinking about talking about this weekend. I was talking about the last week of October.
So you just gonna show the shirt, but you ain't gonna rep it?
I'm gonna rep it that weekend. All you need to see is bad mistake. That's all.
That's crazy. I guess.
Keep it simple, man.
I guess, man.
Cute and cuddly, boys. Cute and cuddly.
But yeah, man, I can't wait, bro. This gonna be a great live. It's gonna be a great live.
Yeah.
So much to talk about.
Let's try to get about 10 people. We got a little dispute going on right now.
Oh yeah.
That's some comp. You see, I got my water ready though, just in case you're.
I know. I'm just the one with the water. You see the one with the water.
It's gonna be a long episode, my guy.
All right, brother. We got 10 in here.
All right, let's roll, man. So first topic, Kendall. Obviously, both of us know the post-game conference that we were both a part of. It was very tense being in there. It was kind of fun though. That was our first time.
For sure.
Let's get right into it. Let's get to Coach Robinson's comments directly after the game.
The game, you got the great guys, W.C. Gordons, Eddie G. Robinsons, those guys, Marino Chasm. I'm living on the shoulders of the SWAC. He ain't SWAC. I'm SWAC. He ain't SWAC. So he's in the conference and doing a great job. Can't knock that. Got a great team. Son should be up for the Heisman Trophy winner. I love Shador. Great player. I love what he's doing for the conference. Probably one of the best things we had since that Steve McNair when he was in there. Love all of that, but you're not going to come here and disrespect me and my team and my school and then want to bro hug me. Shake my hand and get the hell on.
Now we want to hear Coach Prob's comments.
I got time today. Who is SWAC? If I ain't SWAC, who is SWAC? If I ain't SWAC, who is SWAC? If I ain't SWAC.
So, Kendall, it's pretty straightforward. You heard it. We were there. Everybody else was there. Who was right? Was Coach Robinson right with the way he handled the post-game conference and then, the post-game handshake, shove, / whatever you call it? Mm-hmm. Or was Coach Prime, or was he being a sore loser?
I think it's all right. So I'm gonna go to Coach Robinson first. Coach Robinson, I definitely feel like he made a lot of solid points. We recorded the entire press conference, and he said a lot of things in it. Just besides,
give us our credit, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. But he said a lot of things besides just that. As far as like the disrespect aspect, I can agree with him on that. This is a team that's been talking about us for 2 weeks straight. They had a bye last week, so they've been looking forward to this game for 2 weeks. They talked a lot of smack, and you can say some of it was, building up to the game or whatever. Sure. But at the end of the day, all of that trash talk, you can't just what do you call it? An Obama hug or something like that?
Obama hug. I never heard of that, but
me neither. But you can't just disrespect me for 2 weeks straight and then expect me to do that. And another video that we didn't show was when Coach Prime, when he walked through the players as a pregame routine. He says he does it every game. I mean, that's fine. He's been doing it since he was a player. But you got to understand that that doesn't make a whole lot of sense as a head coach. Instead of going through the tunnel and going right down your sideline, you want to walk all the way around the field and go through our players. And I don't know what you're expecting the response to be, but the players obviously weren't happy. I don't think they should have cut them out, but the players weren't happy. And
I
I'm
mean,
not
that's what
expecting
comes with it, though. If you're walking through an opposing team, it's it's bound to happen for you to hear. He played football for 13, 14 years. It always happened. That's nothing new.
See, my thing with him is I never feel like I get the accountability from him. I'm really wondering if somebody else did it, if the roles are reversed and Coach Robinson did it to his team. What do you think the response is going to be? Like that's not something that a head coach does. That is in place for you to go straight to your sideline and stay on your sideline. You don't see players. What do they do during the game? What do they do when players end up on opposing sidelines? They try to get them off the sideline as quick as possible. Like we're not just gonna act like that's something that just happens because it doesn't. And he's the only one that I know that does that. So I'm not defending it. I can't.
Well, on my behalf, I think that obviously I'm standing with Coach Prime. I mean, with Coach Robinson. I'm sorry.
I was about to say, bro, that's crazy. That Jackson State bias run.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you. I lost a lot of respect that I had for Coach Prime prior to this game. You know, it was very classless of him and his fan base. You know, they came here talking the whole week like they were gonna beat us by 60. And like I said earlier, many of us thought that we were gonna lose by 60-something points as well. But we came in and put up a good fight. Mm-hmm. So for him to, you know, kind of talk like we were just, I guess we surprised him, you know? I think that's what it was. We just pretty much surprised him. And Coach Robinson hasn't, this is the first time I've seen Coach Robinson step outside of his box because for the most part, he's a very mild-mannered, carries himself like a professional, like, and he still is. I didn't lose anything for Coach Robinson. Mm-hmm. But I think that he gained a lot of people's respect this weekend as well.
So one of the things that I do want to say is that he did issue an apology earlier.
I don't think he should have issued an apology. My belief.
So one of the things I think that we kind of have to think about. First of all, football is it's an emotional sport. Sports in general is emotional, but especially football. And for two former players to be matching up as coaches, that's another thing that's you're adding to it. So as far as Coach Robinson and everything that he said and everything that he did, I think there was some validity to some of the stuff that he was saying for sure. Do I think he overstepped a little bit at times? Maybe with the cussing and stuff like that.
How did he overstep? Well, he was literally.
Come on.
He was literally speaking. He was speaking exactly what happened. You can't come here, Kendall. I can't talk to you. Say we didn't speak the whole summer. Mm-hmm. Oh, me and you had an issue in May, and then over the summer, I'm telling you, when I see you, I'm gonna beat you up. I'm gonna do it and spit on you and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. Then when I see you, we get back in person. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? You know,
trying to be cool. I got you.
Yeah, that's basically what it was.
For sure.
I don't know what their relationship was prior to this. He said didn't have any kind of relationship overall, but
I don't think they have to either.
They don't.
Like I think, and I know me and you were wondering that because it's like you have two former players, you have two longstanding NFL players that are coming back. They both have had careers in the media as well. So are they friends? Are they cordial? What are they? And it's okay if we're not friends. It's perfectly fine if we're not friends. I don't think that we need to be. I don't think that we should be. Mm-hmm. I think that
it's competition.
For sure. I think it makes a rivalry. I think you can definitely say that this is a rivalry at this point.
Kendall, can we go ahead and say what we said the other day?
What's up?
What me and you were talking about in the car last night. Do you think? Look, so me and Kendall we were riding around, going to Chipotle, by the way, and we were sitting there thinking, is this bigger than the Madison City Classic? Is this rivalry? Do we take this game more seriously than the Classic? Because all season we weren't even. I still don't think people were as amped for the Classic as they were this game.
So I think one of the things when you're doing that. If it wasn't a classic game and it didn't have all of the historical context, it would be different. This is a game we're talking about, or a rivalry where we're talking about that only spans 3 seasons. We've only played Jackson State 3 times, with Deion Sanders as their head coach. This is our first time with Coach Robinson as our head coach. But I still think it doesn't have the historical context to it, so it kind of takes away a little bit from it. But I definitely think that it's a worthy competition for it, for sure. I mean, it was homecoming. Jackson State, they've been world beaters pretty much every game that they played. They had a tight game against, or a semi-tight game against Tennessee State. But besides that, they've been blowing teams out left and right. We come in, give them a good.
They came here, not we come in. They came in.
They came here, and we gave them a good run for their money. Regardless of what the score says, I mean, it was for a team that said that they wanted to dominate every game. It was close, a lot closer than it should have been. So,
I just don't think that we didn't. So we both of us then we didn't get the opportunity to see the whole little post game handshake, whatever. But if you look at it closely, he pushed him. Dion pushed Coach Robinson, and then threw his hands up like what, which kind of threw me off. I'm like,
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. From the first perspective, where you're seeing it from Coach Robinson's back,
overhead view.
No, I was talking about the one from Coach Robinson's back. When you're seeing it like that, and you just see a push, I'm thinking Coach Robinson did it, like he was trying to push him away because obviously Coach Brown was trying to embrace. I'm thinking that he just pushed him. But yeah, you're right. Deion Sanders definitely pushed him for sure.
Well, my thing is, why are you and they're on social media acting like like the word? This isn't the word I want to use, but it's since I can't find the word I'm using, I'm gonna say this on teachers' pets, almost as if they're blame deflecting. Like you knew that when you came here that it was homecoming and the environment was gonna be crazy. You've heard worse words every time Jackson State goes on the road. Like he said, it's gonna be a show. No matter where they play, especially if you go to someone's homecoming like ours, it's gonna be a toxic environment on their
especially after talking all the trash that you talk.
Exactly. And a point that he mentioned, it's not in the clip, but if you go back and watch the full press conference, he mentioned the fact that I sold the tickets. I pretty much hyped the game up, almost like how when Floyd Mayweather always fights his opponents, he's basically selling the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Professional
I
bank.
guess Dion was trying to take credit for selling the homecoming out, which he played a role in it for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not putting that past him at all.
Yeah, but at the same time, you sold it, but you got to take what comes with it.
Definitely. I mean, like I said, I don't know how you have a homecoming game and you just think, or how you're an away team coming into a homecoming game and thinking that it's just gonna be good vibes. You're literally walking through our players and expecting us to be, oh my gosh, it's Dion.
Oh my gosh, it's Dion. Oh my gosh.
Like, what are you talking about?
I'm trying to make them fanned out.
Who else does that? Literally, who else does that?
You don't see Nick Saban walking through Texas A&M's players or walking through Auburn's players. And how is this building? And this goes back to, and I told you this earlier, this goes back to the article I just wrote last week about is he the voice of the sweat? I don't think what Coach Robinson said about he ain't swag, we have to really focus in on those words. There's truth behind it, I believe. I don't feel like Coach Robinson is the only coach that feels that way. I feel like he's the voice of the voices when he said that. Nobody else has challenged his authority until that moment right there. Unless you want to say, A&M's coach when he was talking about how bad he was, Coach Maynard. But I think that there's a lot of coaches or a lot of people in the sweat that feel like, he's trying to isolate his team.
I think that's.
You don't even want to be in the sweat. You said you wanted to leave to go to Power 5. So how are you sweat if you want to leave?
You're right. One thing I will say first, make sure y'all like and comment on the stream. We got a lot of people in here already. We need to get some likes in here. But when you're talking about Deion, yeah, bro, like I don't understand how you go through this entire 2 weeks and just expect no repercussions, expect everything to be cool. As far as what Coach Robinson said, I mean, he's kind of like you said, he's kind of echoing what people have been saying. I want to say I completely understand the impact that Coach Sanders has had coming into the SWAC, coming into HBCU football, the attraction that he's brought. He's great at that, and that's a great thing for us. Mm-hmm. But like you said, the isolation aspect too. You can elevate HBCU programs without isolating yourself as one program. There is a way to do that. And I feel like after his comments from the Grambling State game, and then The stuff that he's been saying about us as far as everything, and then playing to HBCU level, kind of just all of that type of stuff. It gets to be too much because people put stock into everything he says.
Yeah,
You notice
if you go back and look at all the ESPN, we know this is media. They're only gonna show who everybody knows. Nobody really is obviously when you put Coach Robinson versus Coach Sanders, everybody's gonna be in favor of Coach Sanders. If you go and really think about how people are saying, oh, Coach Robinson is being a sore loser, he was just mad. No, you're just saying that because you don't know Coach Robinson. You didn't even hear the full pregame spiel.
Yeah, for sure.
One segment and clip and seeing the handshake and making that the whole perspective of what happened. You don't even know what's been happening in the past, like you said, 2 weeks.
Because trust me, it wasn't just because we lost.
Yeah.
It's not like we went into the game undefeated. It's not
We've
like
seen Coach Robinson after a loss before. A loss that was harder than this one.
We lost to what? UCLA 45-7 or something like that. Like, we've lost games before. It's not like this man is going to every game. Okay, we lose the game, I'm not shaking the coach's hand or I'm not embracing or whatever. No.
And we'll get to the game later, but a couple more possessions going our way, a couple field goal kicks, we got a whole different discussion.
Exactly. Like, I think the fact that it was a close game, because a lot of people, and what's crazy to me is a lot of people are still saying that they embarrassed us. We've had a lot worse games. Trust me. We've had a lot worse games.
62-0 to Auburn.
Yes. Me and you, we know what it's like to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
Alumni know what it's like to be embarrassed. Current students know what it's like to be embarrassed. This was not an embarrassment of a game whatsoever.
We thought we were.
If anything, what we had the second closest game of Jackson State's played all year.
Yeah, and the closest game in the SWAC at that.
Because they beat what? They beat Tennessee State, what, 16-3?
16-3.
Like, come on. To call him a sore loser, to call him emotional or whatever. Come on now.
And use them names worse than that we can't even say.
Yes. Come on.
And then on top of that, my thing is this. Why are we on Twitter saying he's trying to live up to his father's name?
People are speaking on him and don't even know who he is.
Yeah, you don't even. It's just showing how hypocritical and ignorant you are. If you're gonna say something about the man, at least do your research.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Do your research.
You can't be talking ignorant and trying to, persuade people. If you're gonna persuade people, have some facts behind it.
What you think about what he said about the infamous? It's infamous now, which is crazy because I even when we put out the video, I don't think that we knew exactly how big this thing was gonna get. He's not swag, he ain't swag, I'm swag, and then if I'm not swag, who is? What you think about that? What you think about those two comments in particular?
First of all, I thought it was interesting that Coach Prime was listening because they were on. If y'all were the press room they're right next to each other. Dion was in the other.
Yeah, the opposing. Yeah, the opposing. You actually if you go through the tunnel. I mean, through the where the locker rooms are.
They're next door.
Yeah, the media room is you have to go past the home team, and the media room is like right next to the opposing team's locker room. So
I just thought it was interesting that Dion was listening. Mm-hmm. So I think that people, when you know you're in trouble and when you know you've done somebody wrong, you try to cover up your tracks. You try to, that's what I think the handshake was for. He tried to hug him and love on him because he know he had done him wrong the whole week.
It's just a deflection of my fault. Go ahead. It's just a deflection of accountability that gets me. I mean, like I said, it's like every single thing that somebody could say wrong about Coach Sanders, the man always has an excuse. They did because he did. I can't remember for the life of me what it was the last year or 2 years ago, the spring season. I can't remember for the life of me what it was. But Coach Donald Hill Ely at the time, the head coach for Alabama State, he felt slighted. It was something that Dion did that he felt slighted about. I can't remember. But fast forward to this one of the things Coach Robinson brought up was that he felt slighted because they didn't do anything before the game. Like him and Dion didn't have any interaction before the game. And the first thing that Deion Sanders said was the bus was late. Yeah. So he was just trying to, move. Like, it's like an excuse for everything. Even walking through the players. Oh, I've been doing this. I've been doing this all season. I've been doing this since I was a player. bro, at some point you gotta start to just take some accountability for it at least.
And
Because you know why it looks like that.
And what I'm gonna say is this: they're talking about going, moving up conferences. If you're struggling with us and we are, pushing, second in the SWAC, there's other teams. You're talking about winning the MEAC and SWAC towns. If you're struggling in the SWAC, there's a bigger picture.
I definitely think, and we'll talk about this. We'll talk about this later on. I definitely think that it was some vibes of cockiness for sure, and like in the play calling, the way that the game was going, it was they played a little cocky, like, oh, this is
gonna be. They were trying to put the game away early.
Yeah, we know what we're doing, and we gave them a run for their money. So I don't think that helped anything. But at the end of the day, we did what we needed to do. We should have. I believe we should have won the game. And like I said, we'll get into this later on. But it was one of those things where I just thought that it was kind of unnecessary. Some of the things that were unnecessary, and they just kind of boiled over, which happens.
There's some people out there saying that they feel like, Coach Robinson embarrassed the school. You got certain alumni saying he embarrassed the school. Do you feel like he embarrassed the school? Or fans out there, do y'all feel like he embarrassed the entire nation? Personally, for me, I feel like he showed that. I think that this moment right here showed that he's qualified for a job. He's actually taking pride in ASU. Coach Ely and past coaches, they weren't indebted with ASU. They weren't they didn't graduate. They weren't, experiencing ASU. I think he's experienced it and he's actually embracing it. I think this weekend just, solidified that he's the man for the job.
I think a lot of people, I mean, we've seen it ever since the man got hired. You have a lot of people calling him, just a real estate agent. Just, he's just, who is he? If he's not Eddie Robinson Jr., the other one, then he's just whatever. Who is this dude? For me, it showed me that this, you kind of got to see him, like you said it earlier, outside of his box. I don't take it as an embarrassment. Now, like I said, the only thing that I could really see is, all right, maybe the cussing was too much, maybe that. But other than that,
here we go, Kendall. Here we go. This is what we need to see right here. This is what I like to see.
Okay, so I do have a question in response to this. If the shoe was on the other foot, okay, like I said, and I said this earlier, I don't know if you were in here. I don't think that they should have been cussing at him. I said that. But if the shoe's on the other foot, what football team do you know that's just gonna let somebody walk through them and not say anything?
Even if it's Nick Saban, do you want us to be fans just because
nobody does that?
Yeah,
nobody does that.
Can you go into a war and walk on the other side and expect to be unharmed? No.
He says it's a routine that he does every game. I understand that.
If you're gonna do it before we get out there or when we're not on the field.
I just don't understand. If the shoe's on the other foot, who's not okay? You have a history of it, sure. Okay, fine. We cannot be the only team that's responded to him in that way. We can't be. It's just no way.
Cameras around you.
Like, if you're gonna do it, he said he's been doing it since he was a player. Cool player. I can see.
You're not a player anymore.
I can see it.
You're with me. You're
a head coach now.
You're regular.
You're a head coach now, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, you should just expect it. You should not getting cussed out, but you should expect some hostility, regardless of anything else. You should expect some hostility.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Like I was saying about Coach Robinson, I feel like Coach Robinson, he showed that he not only is a great recruiter, but he showed me that he's a great coach. Last night. Or yesterday.
What was all this? Hold on, Kendall. Hold on. What does this have to do with anything?
What about UCLA? What we have the smoke for? Like, what exactly?
They're not in our conference. It was a money game. The same way y'all, this is gonna be a money game, and you almost got beat. This is a money game too.
Yeah, they don't do that in the NFL either. That's very true.
Fans are so ignorant.
That's very true. Some of them.
But all the comments that I've seen and from what I've heard, I'm very annoyed. Your reaction and how you're coming back at trying to defend Coach Prime makes zero sense at all.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But when we talking about Eddie Robinson, though, I think that he did what he needed to do. He said what he said.
We
I think what did it say? She
we
need to
need to
learn
learn
how
how
to
to
lose
lose in some
class.
class.
40 game house players were cursing.
Listen, I'm gonna be 100% honest right here, Kendall.
Mm,
ASU hasn't won a SWAC championship since 2004. Correct?
mm. Yeah.
I haven't been at ASU my whole I haven't been to every single ASU football loss. I won't lie.
Mhm.
I don't think that they're fighting after every single loss. This this situation right here could have got a whole lot worse than it really was, just based on the fact that between the fans and students on the field, between the coaches was minimal in my opinion. It could have got a whole lot worse between really ASU and JSU.
I mean, we was looking at the difference. I don't even know whose video we were watching, but we was looking at the difference between the handshake. You know, Coach Robinson went up to him like he was actually going to just shake his hand and it was going to be it. And Coach Prime was trying to dap him up. You know, if the push wasn't there, I don't think it would have been. I don't even think it would have been that much. Because you know, media they gonna play it up. It wasn't all that. It really wasn't.
No, because Chip Kelly wasn't talking the whole week.
It's not even
Chip
about the
Kelly wasn't
laws.
talking about 3-4 weeks.
It's not about the
how
laws.
bad
We
we
just
gonna
said
play.
that.
We gonna beat ASU.
It's not about the laws. We just said that. But saying he wasn't swag, saying he wasn't swag to get back to this one. There's a sense of pride that comes with that. I feel like I don't think Coach Robinson is just saying that just to say it. You know, you do have somebody that's bringing all of this cachet, bringing all of this charisma to a conference. We notice, you know, he's taking up a lot of time at Swag Media Day, this and that. You know, treated like a celebrity because he is one. I mean, that's who Deion Sanders is. He's won a SWAC championship, but I mean, okay. I think Coach Robinson was speaking from a place of you're an outsider kind of coming in, you
Yeah.
know, and I feel like
Nobody outside the SWAC will hire. If you didn't go to Jackson State, you wouldn't got a job. Did we know that? If it went for Jackson State or some of these other black HBCU schools, who else would have hired you?
yeah, the laws definitely wasn't the problem. I agree with this for sure. Khalil, you trying to get into the game now, or you trying to see what the comments talking about still?
Yeah, we can get back to the comments a little bit later.
All right, bet.
Let's go ahead and talk about the game. You know, it kind of hurts me that the post game interrupted what we actually did good on the field. I think that we beat ourselves. Just honestly, I think that
Like we do every week.
Yeah,
Like
like I
we do
said
every
earlier, we could have very easily won this game in convincing fashion. We left points on the board. You missed field goals. I don't like the only thing that I disliked about Coach Robinson's post game was the fact that he blamed the whole game on kicking. I don't think it was all kicking. Did kicking play a big role? Absolutely. But it was not the whole 9 yards.
So one of the things, and I agree with you. One of the things that I find very difficult to do is blame a kicker. I mean, yes, absolutely. He missed what? He missed two. Did he miss two field goals, or he missed one and he missed the extra point?
Missed 2 field goals and missed the extra point.
That can't happen, especially in a game of this magnitude. I'll completely agree with that. But at the end of the day, we should have scored. We should have scored in the red zone. You can't be in the red zone that many times and not score. You just can't.
Same stories every week.
Yeah, I feel like the offense had times where they look fluid. They look like they were good. We were talking about momentum a lot in the press box. You know, we have the momentum right now. They can get it because we're not playing as convincingly on the offensive side of the ball as we are on the defensive side of the ball. And I think that's what happened. I think that we got away with making the mistakes that we've been able to, or we didn't get away with the mistakes that we've been able to make and still get dubs the past couple of weeks.
And honestly, so with some of the mistakes we made, we should have got beat by worse and by a lot more, honestly. Because we gave them so many opportunities to score. They didn't. Jackson State, and we know this, every single game that they played so far, they have a terrible first half. Besides FAMU, every other game this season, they've gotten off to very slow starts. Now I think
by their standards.
Yeah, by their standards. But I will say, I think that I don't know what's going on in the quarterback situation. I really don't. I don't think, as you can see, even when you take Demetrius out and put Miles in, they can get you down the field, but they can't punch the ball in. You know why? We don't have offensive line. So you can't, again, you can't judge either one of the quarterbacks because of the offensive line. We also had zero run game. The defense played the best game of the season. The defense did not really get dominated. The secondary played amazing. Bubba, same old, same old. But the guy that I really liked for that game was obviously Keenan Isaac. Even though I was kind of worried about him, but he balled up.
Keenan Isaac, Chauncey Moore, Damaris
Damaris.
Bellamy, Colton Adams. The list can go on and on as far as defensive players that made great plays, that had great games. Our defense was great last night. It was great yesterday. I was really happy to see them play that well throughout the whole game, because I think as a defense, especially when your offense isn't scoring, it's hard to kind of keep that same momentum. But they did that. They did. I mean, what was the final score? What, like 27-12, something like that?
27-12.
27-26, something like that. And I mean, that's a high-powered offense. What, they've scored less than 20 once this year against Tennessee State. The rest of them have been, I think their highest was what, like 66, something like that.
66 against FAMU. It was 60 something.
They've been putting up big numbers. I'll say it like that. They've been putting up a lot of big numbers, and I think that the way that we kind of played against them defensive wise was great. I was very happy with them. There was definitely some pride there for sure.
Can I say something, Kendall?
What's up?
I just want to say I was kind of offended by how Coach Prime answered my question. You know, and I asked him why did his son struggle in the first half. He comes back to me talking about he's still at 30 yards, 30 yards. Well, if I threw 40 passes and they were all short yardage passes, I could get 30 yards too. And you're talking about he deserved to be in the Heisman race. He's struggling against what you consider an HBCU level talent.
I mean, yeah, I definitely think in games like that, when you kind of struggle for most of it, because I mean, this is the same person that's talking about dominating all the time. I don't think that they dominated us at all during the game.
They haven't dominated anybody.
I well, other people I can.
Okay, not us. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I was about to say. But I definitely think that he struggled for sure. I think to say that he didn't struggle is crazy. Just because watching the game he struggled. I think later on when the game starts to get away from a team, and then that's when you see them struggle, or then that's when you see them put up all the yards and all the stats and everything. I think that stats can get you off, can make you think one thing when the game was actually another.
There's a lot of stat pattern going on from what I saw, especially when you start talking about trying to score. You're already up, you know, with 2 minutes left in the game. You're still trying to throw the ball, like Coach Robinson said. I think going back to the conversation earlier, Coach Robinson's whole thing was sportsmanship and all in all. It wasn't about, you know, losing or any of that. It was just about being a class act. And I don't think that Jackson State was a class act. I think that a lot of Shador's stats are inflated because they're up so much in the game. They just add on. That's not taken away from any of the talent, Kendall. I know you about to bring up this like me there. No.
I just think it is kind of funny, but I'll let you finish.
Go ahead. What you got to say?
I mean, bro, I just feel like we've kind of been, for people that's been with us, they seen you kind of go, you know, back and forth a little bit. Shador, you know, that's your dude. Coach Prime, that's been your dude. So I just think it's kind of funny to see you kind of, you know, that loss. You were very dejected after the loss. I think you had a lot of things.
I was, because I would have much rather, if they didn't give me hope that we were going to win, I wouldn't have. I'd have been like, okay, it was business as usual. Nobody went out there and got beat. But they gave me hope that we could actually have won that game, and I think have won it by a good margin because they were still struggling to score as a whole.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that you could see that they weren't getting as much success as they wanted to, which I think is indicative of how good the defense was playing. I think even the offense at first. Do we have the first score? Our first score of the game.
First score? What do you mean? Nah. The technology didn't cooperate with me.
Oh, all right. Dang, that's crazy, bro. But for those of you that did see, you know, we scored first. So of course, we missed the extra point, but it was 6-0 at one point. We did a pretty good job at getting on them early. I think making a statement as far as, all right, the defense gonna step up. We gonna do our thing as offense, but we weren't sustainable, and I think that's how we lost.
These comments just don't make any sense from Jackson State's behalf.
Oh, they saying that we should have been mad about that too.
Mad about losing a money game.
Oh, I mean, as far as the backup quarterback situation, okay. I mean, they didn't score off of it, did they?
No.
So I mean, that comment, I don't really have anything for that one.
It's keeping me. I'm trying to stay, watch my tone and watch what I say because I know how it can turn out. So I'm being very calm.
You can be very passionate.
Yeah, I can be very, very passionate. I don't want to, let the wrong words slip out.
But I mean, I definitely think that we've been going into this entire season saying how talented Jackson State is, how talented their quarterback play is, how talented the team is as a whole, coaching,
But I
all
also
of that.
told you we have the same talent. We're just not as developed and as cohesive as they are yet.
I think that we definitely have some potential for sure.
It's not potential; it's there.
Yeah, it's
potential.
There. It's potential. Our
It's
starting quarterback is great when he's on the field. He has some stuff he needs to fix, but he's good. He's not great yet.
But it's there. The talent is there.
Yes, I said the potential. Yes,
the talent is there. It's not potential; it's talent.
You think Demetrius has played as well as he can? Like, do you think that's
No,
the best?
But I'm saying I'm not saying he has. But I'm saying it's like it's there, like it's in there.
Yes, and I'm saying that the potential is in there. We're saying the same thing.
Kendall, if I tell you there's a cake in the refrigerator.
Oh my God.
If I tell you there's a cake in the refrigerator and I eat the whole thing and leave the last slice there, is the cake still there or is it not?
Yes, the cake is still there. Yes.
Is it still there?
Yes.
Okay then. So Demetrius is there. He's just not healthy.
Even when he is healthy, do you think that that's the best he can play?
He's hurt. The last time we saw him healthy was the first game. And what did he do in the first game?
And do you think that that's the best he can play?
No, but it was there.
So it's okay. All right, whatever. Okay. I'm gonna let the comments figure out if that makes sense.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I think as far as our end, because I don't really feel like we've gone in depth about the offensive side of the ball and all of that. You got to think we also lost Levante Chenault, who I think could go, who's 1A, 1B for best receiver on the team. Yeah, most definitely. With him and Jeremiah for sure. But I think that Demetrius got to stay healthy. I feel like that's a big thing because you talked about a quarterback controversy. We're in week 7? Yep. And we're still talking about a quarterback controversy. Demetrius has to stay healthy. One of the things that I keep saying about him is that I feel like he needs to slide. He takes a lot of unnecessary hits. That wasn't
you can't slide. How are we? My thing is this. Yes, you can avoid a lot of hits, but you still have to advance the ball down the field. You have to take risks when you're playing behind a bad O-line.
For sure. I'm not disagreeing with you on that. But at the end of the day, if you're taking hits that you can avoid because you're not.
How can you avoid the hits when you're looking down the field trying to make a play?
I'm talking about when he's scrambling. I'm not talking about when he's just.
Okay, but most of his injuries have come from being sacked in the pocket. It wasn't from him scrambling.
Okay, but that doesn't negate the fact that he needs to learn how to slide.
But if he hasn't been hurt from when he's actually running.
Okay. So God forbid next game or the next game that he plays, because he might not play next game. God forbid he gets injured on the scramble. What you gonna say then? Just because it didn't happen doesn't mean that it can't. Regardless of anything else, if he's hesitant in any of his movements because he knows he's about to get blown up because he doesn't slide.
But what I'm saying is when you're running, you're bracing yourself for the hit. When you're dropping back, trying to throw the ball in the field, your body is kind of it's loose because you don't expect to get hit.
But you just said the offensive line is bad.
It is.
Okay, so if you got guys running at you, it's going to happen. You're going to get hit. So there should be no looseness if that's the case. But if we're talking about the play that he actually got injured on, I think it was on a blitz and the linebacker went untouched down the middle of the ball. So that's something we talked about it earlier when we were watching the highlights. I think that's something that could have been avoided if there were.
The play that he got hurt on could not have been avoided.
So you mean to tell me that a middle linebacker running straight down the middle of the offensive line,
It was third down.
Khalil? What's the offensive line there for?
Kendall.
To block the people in front of them and then to block blitzes,
They
right?
did do it.
It was a blown assignment. It's no way in the world you have a linebacker running straight down the middle of the middle of the line.
They didn't do their job.
Okay, Khalil. So there's one thing. There's one thing about quarterbacks. When the more developed you are as a quarterback, you start seeing those things. Now it was a good blitz from the linebacker. So I'm not saying that he should have known, like that should have been something obvious, but that's still something that should have been caught by him or the O lineman, whatever. But he got hit unnecessarily. He should not have taken that hit because he should not have been that free.
Kendall, it was 3 people running at him. Nobody got blocked.
Who hit him?
The linebacker hit him, but at the end of the day, there were still 3 other
The
people.
linebacker that was streaking down the
and
center,
there were still 2 other
the
people.
center face.
There were still
Okay,
2
but who hit him though? You keep talking about ifs. Who hit him?
Kendall.
The dude that.
Kendall.
So all right. I'm gonna put it to you like this. I'm gonna put it to you like this, and I'm not gonna say nothing else about it. If there's a running back there,
Yes, you will.
if there's a running back there in the backfield with him that's blocking, who's he supposed to block first?
Nobody's blocking. That's the point. Nobody is blocking. The running backs won't even block.
Answer the question. If there is a running back there that is blocking, who is he supposed to block first?
He's supposed to block the blitzer.
Where the position matters though, because they're blitzing off the side. That matters. So he's supposed to block the dude in front of him.
Kendall, all I know is this. There are 5 people, sometimes 6, in front of my quarterback. There is no reason at all for him to get hurt or for him to get tackled at any point in time.
I disagree on that. But if we're talking about a blitz and it literally goes the man goes untouched.
Pick it up.
Whose responsibility is it?
There's a center on the field as well.
Okay. So are you saying that they hold dual responsibility, or is it just the center?
It's on both of them.
Okay, that's what I said.
Kendall, it was third down.
Okay.
He was going to have to get rid of the ball either way.
Okay.
I don't think that our offensive line has the. I'm not gonna say that. I don't think our offensive line has the capability to, take care of that or make that adjustment.
And I don't think our quarterback has the. I don't think he's as developed as a quarterback to make that call either.
You're only as good as your options.
What?
You're only as good as your options.
Your options?
Your options.
Okay, so what are you expecting? What are his options in?
And I'm gonna put it like this. Maybe the word I should use is, I'm not gonna say what I'm saying. I was about to say something off the walls. But I just don't think that our offensive line has the capability to make those adjustments. They haven't made the adjustments all season. And what's gonna change now?
Fair enough. I'm not saying that the offensive line is going to pick up everything. I'm not. But in a case like that, somebody should have picked it up. Quarterback, O-line, whatever. Somebody
why didn't they?
Picked it up. Huh?
Well, why didn't the O-line do it then?
I mean, you literally just went on a whole rant about how the offensive line isn't up.
Yeah, but you're blaming Demetrius. I don't like how you always blame Demetrius.
I'm not blaming
his offensive
just
line
him.
isn't good.
I'm just saying that that's part of being a quarterback.
It is, but your offensive line is also part of you being a quarterback too.
Okay, so that's why I said dual responsibility. I'm not.
What is this? What does that mean?
Both parties
So
are
parties
responsible.
Okay.
Yes, both parties are
But
responsible
still,
for calling out that play.
I think that when there's just a lot going on third down, and I feel like if you are, because before the season, everybody's saying we have the best offensive line in the SWAC. Far from the truth. I think we have the worst, personally, or one of the worst.
I think that they definitely hamper our ability to score on the offensive side of the ball for sure. And I like I keep saying, that's part of being a quarterback. If
I
you
don't
can
think
read the defense, you check out of something, or you tell a offensive lineman what's going on. That's literally part of your job.
I don't think that he's been in the he hasn't played enough games or been in the playbook long enough for him to make the adjustment. He's been hurt. He's played one full college game.
This goes back to our discussion about potential. He's not there yet. I keep telling you,
it's not about the potential. It's about he hasn't been there.
Exactly. I keep telling you he has room to grow.
If I'm not as good as he can, but I'm still your hardest worker, I can't.
For sure, he's not as good as he's going to be. He has learning to do. Like you said, he's played one full game of college football. So I'm expecting mistakes. This was one of those mistakes.
Whether your offensive line is the same way.
Is the offensive line young or is it just not good? Which one is it?
Both.
Okay.
I blame the offensive line for article. I don't think everybody thinks that Miles would have made this big difference. I don't think anybody can function behind his O-line. I don't care if it's Tom Brady himself.
They definitely make it difficult they make it difficult to go down the field for sure. I'm not disagreeing with you on that at all.
That's why Ja'Cory can't even stay in the game because they're always every single time he gets in the game, he's having to run through 4 and 5 people before he even gets the ball.
For sure. We definitely are struggling on the offensive side of the ball, regardless of what quarterback, regardless of who's under center, regardless of what running back we have on the field, we struggle. So I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I think that the offensive line is definitely a big point of emphasis for us as far as an improvement. Because I think if our offensive line is better, I think our offense as a whole will be better. One of the things that you talked about before though was the pass. Who threw it? Was it Jawan? Jawan threw the pass to
Jalen Late when he dropped in the end zone to one to catch on the super.
That was a 2-point conversion. And it would have made the score what?
Would have made it
14-17?
17-14.
Yeah, 17-14. So that's one of the things that I think. I'm not understanding why we don't get the ball to our tight ends more. I don't know if that's a scheme thing. I don't know if that's a comfortability thing with the quarterbacks, but
I just don't think he's that good personally.
I don't really know. I mean, that's probably one of the first attempts that he's gotten all year.
Kendall, you've been healthy all season long. You've been playing all season long, and you're 6'6" at that. You're a matchup nightmare if you know how to use it correctly.
For sure.
And you haven't come through in any game.
So, Khalil, I'm gonna ask you a question. Then, has he ran a lot of routes, or is he more of a blocking tight end?
He's run routes a lot more in the last 2 games, and it's resulted in 1 catch.
Has his routes been bad, or have the quarterbacks just not been able to get the ball to him?
The offensive line.
Yeah, offensive line can't be everything, bro.
It is everything.
One of the reasons why we had our offensive line wasn't good last year. One of the reasons why
why we still had 3 or 4 quarterbacks.
Okay, but who was getting the ball the most last year? Our tight ends. Besides Jeremiah, who was getting the ball the most? Our tight ends.
Kendall, but if you don't even have time to get the ball to your tight ends,
Khalil, your tight ends usually run the shortest routes. That's why if you notice, Lamar Jackson, perfect example. Scrambling quarterback. Who is his favorite targets? Tight ends. Tight ends. Because they run short routes, they're big targets, and they're very easy to hit. Right or wrong? So
your offensive line is still terrible. If you can't even, he's already 5'9" as it is, correct?
Yes.
5'9". He's already a scrambling quarterback. If he doesn't have time to even look down and Kendall, he couldn't even say his name before he snapped the ball out being sacked. Do you think he would have time to say Demetrius Davis before he got sacked?
Definitely not on the play that he got injured on. I
Okay then.
definitely agree with you on that.
Okay then.
But Khalil, you got to understand, tight ends run short routes for a reason. If you gotta, what's our most success? What's our most success? Are we a deep ball throwing team or are we a short route team?
Short routes, of course.
Okay, so that includes 10-yard slants, 5-yard slants,
So is this
ins,
a
out,
play
all of that.
calling thing then? Do you think the offensive coordinator should be
That's
changed?
why I asked you that question, because I'm not sitting here paying attention to the tight ends and what they're doing. Some offenses use tight ends more as blocking. I think that, or more as blocking like tight ends. I think that benefits us more. And I'm not sure. I can't speak on it because I haven't paid it a whole lot of attention. But if we're using our tight ends as more of blocking, that's a good thing, because we keep saying our offensive line is not the best. So if they're running routes consistently, though, like every game, and they're just not getting open or they're not getting the ball, that's a different issue.
Kendall, you sound crazy, bro. I just don't.
Bro. All I know is if you have a tight end running a 5-yard drag or a 5-yard or 10-yard drag.
Kendall, how can you drive a car with no wheels?
Bro, if they didn't have wheels at all, if the car didn't have wheels at all, it wouldn't be driving at all. So that means that we would have 0 conversions.
Okay, well, try driving a car with 3 wheels.
You still get somewhere, right?
No. With 3 wheels?
Okay, then. So your analogy doesn't work. Your analogy only works if it makes sense.
How is he supposed to be successful if his offensive line can't even block?
You got to find a way, bro.
It takes 2 people to make it in a relationship, right?
Bro, we're not talking about relationships.
It takes 2 people. It takes 2 people to make it in a relationship. Okay, then that's my point. Jesus Christ.
I guess. Even with the suspect O-line, the quarterback should be able to find the tight end. Thank you.
How?
Khalil, I just told you how. How tall is he? 6'5", 6'6"?
6'6" and can't move and can't catch, apparently.
You don't know that.
I saw enough yesterday.
On one play.
You had a mismatch and you dropped it. You're a 4-star and went to Clemson.
On one play. So you're judging the man's whole. Jeremiah ain't never dropped the ball. Levante ain't never dropped the ball.
We're not talking about Jeremiah and Levante. But if we're talking about Jeremiah, I haven't seen Jeremiah drop a pass this season.
You're lying.
I haven't seen him.
You're lying.
I said
bro.
I haven't seen him. I didn't say it didn't happen. You've been
watching every game.
Kendall.
There's not a game that they play that you haven't watched.
I haven't seen him.
Okay,
I didn't say it didn't happen.
So Khalil, then maybe you need to watch harder. Maybe you need to watch more film.
I watch every game. Coach Robinson wasn't here for that, by the way.
That was 2 seasons ago. Bro, we lost by. We lost.
This is my problem.
We lost by what, like 12 points?
I don't do math right now. Sorry, but we're talking like we got beat by 60 and 70 points. You struggled the whole game.
I agree. He got held.
He still should have caught it.
All right. Everybody's supposed to be Odell now. Got you. Copy.
You had your arm out like this.
Okay. Everybody's supposed to be Odell.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. But that picture was 2 years ago.
Almost 3.
But I mean, all right, it was a picture. And they got their get back. They got their get back the next year.
Did we do anything when we lost last year? Was there any fights? Was there any kind of drama? No.
To be honest, I feel like it was just all right. They got their get back, and it just was that. I really don't feel like they said anything else, or we said anything else.
No. Even last year, we were in the game the whole game. We didn't have any offense.
Yeah, that's basically what it was.
And guess what, Kendall? We had the same offensive line last year. Different quarterbacks, same offensive line. So what's the common denominator, Kendall? It's the offensive line.
I don't think
when you simplify the equation, it still gets you down to the offensive line.
I never said that the offensive line was that good though.
But if you tried four and five different quarterbacks playing behind the same offensive line, Kendall, 2 + 2 don't equal 5. You can't
Okay.
keep putting the same equation together and expecting a different answer. Doing the
So
same thing over and over and expect a different result is called insanity.
for sure. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm not hearing that, bro.
I the tight end hate is insane to me. That was not what I was expecting this
I
conversation to
just
turn
expect a
into.
lot more from him this season. I'm gonna be honest.
after one missed ball, that's crazy.
They didn't pretty good. Pretty good.
I think the defense is really good. I literally think it's a top 5, top 3.
I think it might
Might be
be the
top.
second best defense in the SWAC.
Yeah, honestly. Um, hmm.
How does it make our school look bad?
If anything, this is the most publicity ASU got in a long time. Ah. Yeah, this publicity was crazy. But yeah, man, I just I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
say, Kendall, I'm gonna say it again. This situation could have been a whole lot worse than it really was. There could have been a whole
Oh,
lot
for
worse
sure.
things that happened in the stands
For sure.
after the game.
Mhm.
There were a bunch of people in the city of Montgomery, and based off this small little scuffle, it could have gotten a whole lot uglier than it really was. So let's just be thankful that it didn't.
I agree. I agree with you on that. I think, like I said, I think that this is a situation where you have a pro or you have a coach in prime who decided to whatever you want to call it, be a promoter, whatever you want to call it, for 2 weeks, talk about our school, talk about us, whatever. Cool, trash talk, part of the game. Got you. Wanted to walk through our players, pregame, wanted to do a whole bunch of other things, and you have a coach that's not going for it. End of story. Everybody don't got to be buddy buddy. It happens. Um, I think that it was good that he showed some backbone. You know, I love Coach Robinson. I mean that display that he did. All right, did he need to cuss? Whatever. Fine. You can debate that all you want to, but
Kendall, this is what I'm talking about right here.
what?
This is what I'm talking about. We didn't even play y'all at ASU last year.
So okay. So for one,
Kendall,
that was 2 years ago. For one, the year after that though, when we played y'all, the man didn't he make like a whole didn't he make like a whole video sitting on like a throne or something like that?
Kendall.
And he said
How many times can you get bullied and not expect to punch back at some point? Did you just expect us to turn the other cheek? Look, what did Shannon Sharp say? Jesus, Joseph, and Mary. That's the Bible. We're not in there. So we're not in there. We're different. That's not us. Coach Robinson, ASU, different thing. This ain't the Bible, but this is what we call it real life. So let's give the program. We're in the SWAC. Let's keep it moving. If anybody got their feelings hurt based off just because he had to respond to all the disrespect, if somebody talks about your family the whole time, at some point you're gonna respond. You can't sit
he
back.
spoke. Yeah, he spoke from a place of pride. He didn't speak from a
Exactly.
place of like, nah. It was just I'm prideful about my school. I'm prideful about my name. I'm prideful about my
Kendall,
program.
at any
He
point
said
in
that.
that interview, did he say did he ever say he disrespected me? He said my school. He never. If he would have made it about him, it would have been a whole different discussion.
If anything, he also gave them their props. And
Exactly.
what he said about what he literally it's in the same clip too. I know people are only gonna pay attention to the if he ain't swag, I'm swag, but literally like 2 sentences after that, he was talking about Shador and how talented he was. He was talking about the team and how talented they were. So he gave them their praise too. And you know, like this comment say, it's a family. I mean, that's what you're going to have to expect.
If you bite your tongue long, if you keep biting your tongue long enough, at some point it's gonna fall off. It's just that simple.
I mean, and I think if you're going to say, because there are some people that are putting blame just on us, saying that we did this, we did that, we did this. If you're gonna say it's blame, I think it should be on both sides of that. If that's the point, could both sides have handled things better? Sure. All right. Fine, but I don't think this is a situation where we saying, "Oh, ASU is this, ASU is that." We look bad. All of them. Oh, okay.
This is the biggest thing for me, Kendall. People keep saying Coach Robinson was the one that scheduled this. Coach Robinson didn't arrive didn't actually physically start working on campus. I don't believe until like actually January. Now recruiting all that stuff, that was he probably was recruiting in, but making the schedule, I don't think he had anything to do with that. Then, anyways, that's done by
That schedule, that schedule was made at least a year ago.
Yeah.
I don't think it's any way that schedule was not made at least a year ago.
Yeah, he had nothing to do with that. You start making if you really pay attention to most colleges, they start making schedules. Maybe sometimes 2 and 3 years in advance.
Yeah, they just released them on time, but they be making those schedules beforehand.
Yeah, and this is our first. This was only our second or third homecoming, fourth or fifth, one of those.
What you mean?
It's still a new homecoming is still new to us.
Oh yeah.
So, Kendall, let's just take the comments now. I don't even care about topic anymore. Just the comments, bro.
I said they don't even care about the topic. Nobody got their feelings about it. I disagree. I feel like the fans been feeling some way for the last 2 weeks. Literally, when I tell you this man has been talking about this game, Deion Sanders has been talking about this game for 2 weeks now. He was talking about it for 2 weeks straight.
He came for us and we didn't send for him.
Fair. So I mean, to say that nobody else felt some type of way, that this is just a coach thing, that's couldn't be farther from the truth.
I'm just exactly, and this schedule was probably made ahead.
I think it's a way that you can sell the
bro.
game. I think it's a way. I like, and I said that earlier. He sold the game. Yeah, he did for sure. But also, I don't think that you should expect no like repercussions from that if there was like going on disrespect type thing, because that's what Coach Robinson was upset about. He was upset about the disrespect, the trash talking. They're both NFL. They're both former pro athletes.
It's not
they know about trash talk. This is college football. That is trash talk.
If anything, I think Coach Prime got his feelings hurt trying to walk around and say there were some things on the field that I heard that were beyond disrespectful players talking to me. Deion, you are a superstar. You are an NFL Hall of Famer. Everywhere you go, good, bad, or indifferent, people have an opinion about you. No matter what stadium you go into, there are people in the stadium that dislike you. Not everybody in the SWAC or in the whole country is in love with Coach Prime.
And I don't think everybody should be.
No.
I feel like if this man came to the SWAC and everybody's just like, oh, like Deion's this, Deion's that, praising him and everything, it defeats the purpose.
Exactly.
I'll be the first one to tell you that when he came to the SWAC, the standard was a lot higher for sure, because you knew at some point they was going to get to the point where they was going to be really good. It may not have been the first season, the spring season, but that fall season, last season, they won a chip. What's up?
When you're talking about the football team, and if I'm not mistaken, Kendall, you're the editor-in-chief of the Tribune, right?
Yeah, the Hornet Tribune, yes.
If I tell you the paper's trash, what is that telling me? What am I telling you?
That my product and everything that all of my people have been working on is trash. That's disrespect.
If I go tell Joe Biden that the U.S. is trash right now,
you're going to take it personally.
What he's working.
You're going to take it personally. And Coach Robinson never said that he said something about him personally. We just told you some of the stuff that he was mad about that he named. Literally, them not having no type of interaction before the game, which is something that coaches do. Coach Sanders walking through the players during the pregame, his pregame routine, which is something that most coaches don't do. Like, it's certain things that he said in any of the clips that you'll watch that he had an issue with. If this was just a situation where he said something about Coach Robinson, all right, that's a situation where I think that they handle behind closed
Man
doors.
to man, yeah.
Plus, I don't think that Deion Sanders would come out of his way to just say something about a coach that he's never went against. He doesn't really have any type of relationship with. I don't think he would do that. I'm not saying that Deion Sanders is a bad guy.
This is very
What's up?
hypocritical right now. Because if I'm not mistaken, didn't Nick Saban say something about Jackson State this past season? Did he ever say Deion Sanders? Did he ever say Coach Prime when he was talking about him?
Nah,
Did he?
he definitely didn't.
And
But
didn't Coach Prime not respond?
He did.
And you still doing commercials with the man. Cool.
That's what I was saying about accountability. Like, I just feel like if you gotta think about it if the roles are reversed too. Like, take some type of accountability over. All right, maybe I shouldn't have walked through the players. It's a pregame routine. Maybe I shouldn't do the pregame routine like that no more. I'm a coach now. I'm not a player.
At a homecoming.
Yeah, I'm a coach now. I'm not a player anymore. Even
you
as
can't even run. You can barely walk right now.
Bro, chill on him.
Okay,
all right, relax. But my whole thing is, even as a player, what's the first thing they do when players get on the sideline during the games? They take them and try to get them to their side of the field as quick as possible. That's just what happens. There's a reason for that. You're not above that just because you're a coach. Especially when you're just walking. Like, literally, you're not even saying anything. You're just walking.
Exactly. Just casually walking with a whole bunch of media people behind you, and you're coming through our players while we're practicing.
Yeah. I can't imagine if a coach did that to them that they wouldn't feel no type of way. I can't imagine.
What's up with this moment right here? Would Coach have the same energy if ASU won? I believe so.
Yeah, I think so.
Coach Robinson is a very consistent person.
Like I said, win or lose, he's been very consistent. Jackson State, that whole rivalry, whatever you want to call it, has been the only time that he's really felt slighted that anything like that has happened. Everything else has been cool. He dapped up coaches after 47-7 against UCLA. Dapped them up, hugged them, all of that. Whatever. It is what it is. What you laughing at?
Oh, I'm just thinking like nothing, bro. Go ahead.
That's my whole thing. I mean, if we're talking about would he have had the same energy, I think he would have. I don't think that this is a situation of.
Yeah, we're still explaining because Jackson State people being very ignorant right now.
Really, we just trying to have a conversation for real.
I did not think Coach Prime was talking maliciously. Only thing he said was that their schedules for homecoming. He said he literally was basically implying if you know how to read, if you know how to, break things down within your head. I don't know what kind of education they teach in Jackson State over there, but ASU, we know how to
wild.
No, but if you really go back and analyze the clips, he was saying that this was going to be a money game. When you're talking about a money game, you're usually saying that the opponent that you're facing is so inferior to you, they can't even stand on the same field as you. They have no reason to be on your level at all.
And if he didn't mean it to come off that way, then he should have explained it. That's the thing when I'm talking about accountability. You have to understand.
We can sell this set. My bad. Go ahead.
When you're in that position, when you're in the position that Deion Sanders is in, people take stock in everything you say. So you have to understand that if you say something, you might need to explain it for it not to come off like, oh, this is a shot. Because that's how media is going to take it. So, I mean, that we know what assume means. That's all I'm saying about that. You can go to the one that you were talking about.
We've sold out this ASU stadium before, matter of fact. So that's another time when Coach Prime was lying. The first time the stadium ever opened, it was sold out, by the way. I was there. Thanks, Mommy.
I don't know. I don't know if he said that or if
he did say that. He did. He said the game is never this stadium is never sold out.
Oh yeah, if you can look up the pictures of the stadium right now, and it'll literally show you because we got a grassy area too. We don't have all bleachers, so I mean the grassy area was sold out too. So
it doesn't matter. Exactly, it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, facts.
I'm just baffled by the ignorance that I'm reading in the
Baffled
comment.
is crazy. Make
I'm
sure y'all
baffled.
like and comment on the stream, y'all.
And
It's
subscribe
a
for
lot of
sure.
interaction today. Yeah, yeah,
Subscribe
yeah.
for sure. Oh yeah,
Sure.
speaking of Kendall, can I do this real quick?
Yeah, man. Go off.
Me and Kendall understanding our platform is growing right now, and since we all have you all locked in right now, we would appreciate if we got some support. We're looking for sponsors. We're looking to grow our platform and do it any way possible. So DM us on Instagram, Wildcard2K. Hit Kendall on Facebook, Kendall Mans. Me on Facebook, Khalil Stewart. Any way you can support us, we would appreciate it for sure. Thank you.
And thank y'all for interacting with us too. We really appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
And we appreciate our love from this past weekend as well. It really,
Even
picked us
the
up.
even the conversations with some of the people,
Yeah.
from Jackson State and stuff like that. At the end of the day, this is interaction. At the end of the day, this is something that we enjoy doing. So it's really good to kind of have that back and forth for sure.
Kendall, what's the Cash App? Because we haven't created one yet.
So what's the cash app?
We haven't created one yet.
How you go tell people we need sponsors
Look,
and then not have no cash app?
yeah, I don't want to accept because I don't want to be accused of anything. So we're just gonna,
Push come to shove, we'll get that to you. We'll get that to you next week.
yeah, subscribe and we'll get back to
Tuesday.
you. We'll get back to
Because we're
you.
recording on Tuesday as well.
What day?
Tuesday.
Okay, Tuesday. Yeah, we'll get back to you on
Yeah.
Tuesday. We'll have one created by then. So just tune in next week and we got y'all. There was no back and forth. This is a new coach. It's a new era. It's a new year.
Yeah, to be honest, that was one of my biggest fears. To be honest with you, I was worried that when Coach Robinson came, because obviously it's a different coach. You're gonna have a different approach to a situation, especially if it's not a rivalry, like a storied rivalry or whatever. Coach Illy, yeah, of course. He told him, what did he tell him?
Can I
He
get my
said,
shoe back?
"Yeah, give me my shoe back." So I mean, after we beat him in the spring 2021 season. So
For those who don't understand the analogy, he was saying, get my shoe out of your, buttocks. Yeah.
buttocks is crazy. But yeah, so I mean, it was the back and forth. I think it makes the game interesting, to be honest. I feel like if you didn't really have any hype around the game, like back and forth, I feel like it would have been kind of boring. It would have just been another homecoming game, and we've seen that in the past already.
I
So
like
I
the
think
toxicity. I do. I love the toxicity.
it does make things more interesting,
That's
and
what makes
especially
the
when
game
you're
fun.
especially when you're trying to build a rivalry, which I think that this is at the end of the day. I think that's what it's becoming. When you're trying to build a rivalry like this, I feel like it helps for sure.
I won't be surprised if in a couple years this is as big, if not bigger, than the Magic City Classic. I know the historical perspective behind the Classic, but especially if Coach Prime sticks around for 10 years, 15 years, yeah.
Yeah, man,
That's absolutely true.
for sure.
I don't think he's going about it the right way though.
He should want that though.
I mean, every
I don't
coach.
have I don't have an issue with them saying that they want to dominate. Cool. That just makes other teams be like, all right, bet we're not gonna be the team that y'all dominate against. Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah.
We can't wait for this.
Oh yeah.
We can't wait for this.
We're courtside. We're courtside.
Oh my goodness.
And you know what shirt I'm gonna wear, Kendall? You know what shirt I'm gonna wear? You know what shirt I'm gonna wear? Oh, man,
State by 50, bro. You need to trademark that for sure.
Real estate by
trademark
50
that for real.
shirt. Huh?
I said you need to trademark that one, bro.
I should. I'm gonna make it a hashtag. Right? Oh yeah, but you can catch me and Kendall courtside every basketball game. By the way, we might be doing
Most
some
definitely.
over there laughing and all that stuff, but we make a good time.
Most definitely. My man, you got anything else, bro?
No, I do not, man. I do not.
It's been a really fun show for sure.
Yeah, for sure. We'll be back Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday we got a preview of the game against was it Mississippi Valley State? Yeah. And we got some updates about the soccer and volleyball teams too. Low key, we got updates about the tennis team. I think golf too. So we got a lot of ASU content coming up. Let us know what you guys think. You know, even after the stream, let us know what you guys think. Keep the comments coming. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on our social medias. Continue to show the love, and we appreciate you guys again. Can't wait to see how far this channel can go. So, you got anything else, bro?
No, you said it best. In the words of that, Kendall, be blessed. Have a great night.
See y'all.